Thank you, Mr. Mills. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. General Fenton, thank you so much for your decades of service. Thank you for all that you've done. It's not just help our special operations community, but across force-wide. It's greatly appreciated, and I don't think we can put into words all the things that you've been able to do to try and help our warfighters to move ahead. Shane, I don't know if that leg's healed up or not, but last time I looked at it, the purple coloring on it didn't look well, so I hope that you have recovered from that at some point. General Fenton, how would or is soft SOCOM contributing to integrated deterrence and SOUTHCOM against the PRC in Russia?
Congressman, I'll start by saying, against the backdrop of preventing great power conflict, and I'll give a sense of that, certainly preparing in the event that one were to come, and then always enabling any joint force opportunities to prevail. Taking that down to SOUTHCOM, I think first it starts with our Theater Special Operations Command, Special Operations Command South. It is the supported element for the SOUTHCOM commander in this vein. And across the venue of, first and foremost, thickening and strengthening partners and allies in that region who want to, first and foremost, be associated with special operations. And the 20-plus years of hard-earned experiences, as you know very well, and then the 80 or the 60 years before that of strategic competition. We are a teammate of choice in the SOUTHCOM AOR. But then they also want to get a sense of our capabilities, the type of equipment we use, and I would add that to that list. On top of that, it would be exercises in that region to show we are there, we care, and all of that assures partners and allies in that region just how important they are to SOCOM and certainly to the SOUTHCOM team and the U.S. team. Happy to talk more detail, exact operations in a closed session.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Just kind of staying on that same thread of SOUTHCOM, what is U.S. SOUTHCOM kind of demands for SOF when it comes to gray zone activities?
Congressman, in the beginning, it is about being somewhere and placement and access. And I think that starts certainly through the lens of the partners we have in the region, many of them for decades that have been aligned with special operations and certainly SOCOM and then SOUTHCOM. Second, it is looking at the world through the very SOCOM-esque pair of glasses, the way our teammates do downrange, and coming up with challenges and dilemmas for adversaries, in this case the PRC, that has presence in that region through diplomatic, economic, and other auspices, and given opportunities and advantages back to Team SOUTHCOM, Team Democracy, Team USA. I can get to some more of the particulars in a closed session, but those would be the two things that come to mind.
I appreciate that. You know, General, one of the things that's concerned me and Secretary is that we know the geopolitical alignment of Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. We've seen the malign activities and forward aggression through the now more accessible funds that's been available through the Biden administration, not only the $10 billion in fungible assets, but also the amount of oil exportation that has increased as a result of not holding the proper sanctions on them. That's well understood, and we've seen this for 20-plus years operating throughout the Middle East. I'm seeing a bigger shift, however, not just on the expansion and kind of their takeover for the Belt and Road Initiative on the Africa continent or expansion of Eurasia or domination of Oceania to try and cut off Western Hemisphere supply chain. And the Houthis are doing a great job of that with the 12% of global trade they're disrupting right now. And we know that part of that's the emboldenment that they felt when they were delisted from the terrorist organization under this administration. My fear now, though, is how they prop themselves up in our own hemisphere. What we're seeing with the Chavez of Venezuela, Pedro in Colombia, what we're seeing now with the joint training base and operations in Cuba, what we're seeing with the destabilization in Haiti, what we're noting with Russia and PRC involvement in DRC and other areas for economic coercion. Do we have any type of a strategy or acknowledgement of what they're trying to do in our own hemisphere that we could try and use to prevent this?
So, Congressman Mills, I just hit briefly on the strategy because I suspect you want to hear more from General Fenton here on what we're doing. The short answer is yes. I think there's actually dynamic in which SOUTHCOM as a force-limited theater has to rely more on SOF because it doesn't have large platforms, doesn't have the rotations that come through. So I think that puts us in a position of where we are able to go, some cases more broadly, at the PRC networks that are built there because we think from a network-centric approach. So we see illicit transactions as not individual activities, but part of a broader enterprise. And I think we have the strategic direction we need. The real challenge becomes actually executing that with limited forces. And I think SOC South, our SOCOM component that works in SOUTHCOM, has been at the forefront of that for General Richardson and SOUTHCOM.
And Congressman, I would say if you're thinking the adversary, I think for the PRC, they've laid it out pretty clearly in their China Dream 2049. They want to they want to be the global leader. They want to bend the rules-based order in their own image and likeness. I think they want to make sure that economically, diplomatically, military, and many others, that they are the preeminent power. I sense that they're looking to do that in all those regions and aggregate those gains with their diplomatic coercion and predatory behavior, and even at some point use of private security companies that we're really calling parasitic sham corporations, because we know what they mean. They mean nothing good for SOUTHCOM or CENTCOM or AFRICOM. And I think that and more, certainly the PRC wants to.
Well, I want you to both know, and I appreciate it, Mr. Secretary, I appreciate it, General, that any and all resources and assets that we can give you to help you to be stronger in your achievements of your goals, you have my absolute support. So thank you again, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you.